So I found this shitty old truck cap along the side of the road, and it's a mess. I guess it's from the 70s, I don't know. But it's full of tree roots and bugs and all kinds of crap. So I'm gonna try to clean it up and see if I can get it to fit my F-150. Here's a quick dry fit. I need to take about 11 inches of length out of this cap, so I'm going to cut it in half, overlap the skin, and pop rivet it. And then I also have to take out 11 inches out of the square tubing, butt it back up, and I'll bolt it together with some angle iron. So I got the aluminum skin cut, and I got the square tubing cut. I took out 11 inches out of the square tubing, and I'm ready to put it back together. Alright, next up I got to deal with all these little pinholes in the roof. So I got some sealant, and I'm going to tape up the inside and put a coat of sealant on the outside and see if that does it. Alright, that sealant did the trick. That's all the pinholes were. And this is the seam. You can see it filled it right in real nice. Use some 1/4 inch Luan to fill in the window. So I'll show you how I framed in the back side of that. I decided to put a piece of solid 1x4 across the center, and I hope to put some handles on the outside to help lift it up. We'll see how that works out. And also put some little blocks in the corner to screw the Luan. I wanted to give you a little better idea on how I joined the two halves together. So you can see on the aluminum skin, I pop riveted here, and I overlapped the skin. Here's the edge. You can see I overlapped 11 inches there. As I mentioned, go to the bottom here, I completely removed 11 inches, and then I used a 1-inch aluminum angle iron and screwed that back together. On the top frame here, I removed 5.5 inches from each side, which allowed me to then overlap it, butt it up, and screw it back together. I painted the wood black and installed the mounts for the handle. The next step is to caulk the edges of the wood, and you can see I've taped it off. For me, I like to tape off when I caulk. I get a lot better results. If I tried to freehand it, it would look like a 8-year-old did it. Okay, I got the bead laid in there. Now I'm going to smooth it out and pull the tape. Alright, got some nice clean lines on the caulking. So it takes a little more time to tape it up, but the results are worth it. The back glass on this cap's in pretty good shape. It's not cracked at all. The latches still work. The chain's all intact. I just put some paint on it. It's pretty rusty. But this handle, it's rotted out and trashed, so I'm going to ditch that. I had another handle laying around for a door, and it turns out it was pretty close. I wobbled out the holes and got it to go in, but it's not a flush mount. So you can see there's some mechanism there that sticks out that won't let me mount it flush. So I cut this crappy little spacer out of some plywood, and I'll use that. I think it's going to work. Mounting this cap onto the back of the truck is a two-man job, or a one-man job with a hand winch. I mounted a pulley in the rafters and anchored the hand winch to the wall. Don't worry, this cap's pretty light. Everything's well within the weight limits. My first attempt, I ran the ropes from the side handles here right up to the hook, and what I found was that the ropes put a lot of pressure on this top corner of the cap and actually rubbed paint right off of it here. So I decided to go with the 2x4 to take that stress off of it. So I don't remember if I showed this to you earlier, but this cap is a little bit wider than the bed of the F150 in the back here. So I used a piece of plywood to take up that difference in the width. One thing I learned on my truck here is that the outside edge of the pickup bed tapers off as it comes to the back. So I don't know if you can see that very well here, but you can see it starts off flush up front and then tapers off. Looking good. Everyone's going to want their own custom cap now. So what did this free cap really cost me? Well, it's about 25 bucks for a quart of that sealant. I don't know, 10 bucks in paint. I think it's 15 bucks or so for the aluminum angle iron. I'd say probably 50 bucks in parts. I didn't track my time. I don't know, 2 or 3 weekends fooling around. But you know, it's quarantine right now, so wasn't much else to do. But I'm happy with it. Turned out okay.